and shit.
Hey, I'm a hustler on a mission, grinding for that spot, a brand new pot to piss in. Trying to school my partners, I don't think they pay attention. I'm sticking to my vision, on the road to the riches. Every single day, I'm a hustler on a mission, trying to get 100 M's, nigga, I ain't kidding. I'm on a mission.
Home Meat TV, hustlers on a mission every day. Sponsored by dividendsofpearl.com. We in a lit house. Keep the light within you shining bright, you feel me? And never forget, real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they can. Hoe ass niggas gonna talk about it, and fuck niggas gonna hate regardless. I promise you that shit. Yeah, man. They say niggas upset with 1090 Jake. I don't know what's up with that shit, man. I don't know what's up with that. So let's see. Allegedly news, real nigga reaction right here. Hustlers on a mission every day, TV. They say it's some paperwork came out with Larry Hoover, so the GD's mad at 1090 Jake. Because 1090 Jake got the platform that shed light on everybody's paperwork. He don't give a fuck who you is, nigga. You could be Jesus Christ, nigga. If you Jesus Christ, if Jesus Christ got paperwork, 1090 Jake gonna motherfucking pull that shit out and be like, look, here. You know what I'm saying? This time BC, 2400 BC. Shit like that. Shit. My stomach just started hurting. Alright, what this shit about? We finna find out.
Prehistoric paperwork that hit the internet that I'm not even responsible for, but I fact checked it. And in this video, we're going to be speaking on Larry Hoover identifying two rival gang members to police that shot him.
Tell him, bro. Who free, bro? My mom, he free. Who? Larry Hoover, he free, bro. Yes, sir. Larry free. They mad that we is GD. Free them gangsters. Free Larry Hoover.
Now, President Trump just gave the presidential middle.
Hey, he only got commuted sentence. He ain't really get fully
after not only pardoning NBA YoungBoy, who's about to go on a mega tour, but commuting the sentence of the.
I look forward to you joining us at our next investor webinar.
And all that shit is
drill
running,
deeper into our 9 to 13% annual interest rate bond offerings and see how our company has become an emerging leader in the oil and gas industry.
You got 2020 got a couple $100 bands for the president. You got to get the nigga up out of there. You got a couple M's for the president.
His name is Larry Hoover. He's the reputed leader of the black gangster Disciples Street Gang, one of the largest in the nation. For 20 years, he's been locked behind prison walls because of a murder conviction.
2 decades.
This week, he goes before the state parole board, and he could soon be a free man.
Done my time. I paid my debt to society. Anytime you do a extensive amount of time, it can have two effects. It can harden you, or it can make you think. And I've thought.
Now, for those that don't know, Larry Hoover is the founder and former leader of the Gangsta Disciples, a major street gang based in Chicago that spread from the Midwest, dominating parts of the South, and even reaching out to the Northeast. To this day, many prominent rappers are members of the Gangsta Disciples, while other rappers have been known sworn enemies to the Gangsta Disciples. Larry Hoover, a kingpin, gang lord, murderer, is a man whose name has held power for over 50 years. But today, His legacy is in question as the unthinkable has happened. Remo from No Jumper would post to Instagram a photo of what appears to be prehistoric paperwork detailing a shooting in which Larry Hoover himself was the victim. Parker High School sat in the Inglewood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. On September 4th, 1968, it was the first day of school, and it would be turned to a crime scene. Leader of the Supreme Gangsters, 18-year-old Larry Hoover, informed the police that he was standing in the school hall just outside the principal's office when two members of the East Side Disciples appeared. They were identified as 18-year-old James Highsmith and 20-year-old Leonard Longstreet, and they did not go to Parker High. Hoover told police the two walked past me in the hall, and Highsmith smiled. Then Longstreet said, "Burn him," and Highsmith pulled a gun and started shooting. I got hit. Larry Hoover, the 18-year-old leader of the Supreme Gangsters that came before the Gangster Disciples' creation, flat out told the police two rival gang members entered his school and shot him. Bullets struck two other students, both 15 years old. Larry and the two others were all shot in the legs and rushed to a hospital. Only minutes after the shooting, police arrested the two gang members who were out on bond for two separate shootings. A Cook County grand jury would indict the two men on charges of aggravated battery on Larry Hoover. Now, this is going to piss a lot of people off, but before I do that, I wanted to confirm whether this was even true, because this didn't seem to be an arrest report. This looked like a newspaper clipping. So I dug into the Chicago Tribune dating back 57 years ago, and what I found was page 14 of the Chicago Tribune from September 5th, 1968, the day after the shooting. The article was titled, "Police Arrest 2 in Shooting of 3 Students, Gang Rivalry Blamed for Violence." 3 youths were shot down in Parker High School in what police described as a continuing battle between rival street gangs. Inglewood police said the shooters were identified by the victims in the hospital and several other witnesses. The police identified Larry Hoover as a gang member, and again, the article would state Hoover told police who shot him and how it happened. Now, this would be considered snitching by anyone following the quote-unquote code. But what about the one who created the code? This was Larry fucking Hoover, the founder of the Gangster Disciples, a man whose name is at the top of Chicago gang lore along with Al Capone. And this wasn't the last time he'd be mentioned in a newspaper. 2 years later, it was 1970, and Hoover was one of 3 arrested for gunning down a 19-year-old on 69th. 3 years after that, a 24-year-old was kidnapped and shot to death. Hoover would be picked up on a murder warrant, and a week later, a witness set to testify against Hoover was found dead on the south side with 2 holes in the back of his head. It was too late, though. The 26-year-old had already given a deposition to police stating he witnessed Hoover and another man kidnap the victim the day before the victim was murdered. They dumped his body in an alley, allegedly because he was suspected of stealing drugs from the gang's supply. This murder was what took Larry Hoover off the streets of Chicago at the age of 23. Deemed a ruthless killer who'd been involved in multiple shootings and murders, Hoover was sentenced to 200 years in state prison. While inside, Hoover continued to lead the Gangster Disciples, which led to a 17-year federal investigation. In 1995, Hoover was indicted by the feds from state prison and 2 years later sentenced to 6 federal life sentences for conspiracy, extortion, money laundering, drugs, and continuing to engage in a criminal enterprise. Larry Hoover ran the Illinois state prison system like a gangster disciple warden. So the feds took him where he'd be helpless, stripping him of all power. In prison since 1973, Hoover spent nearly 30 years at ADX Florence, the federal supermax. His neighbors would be terrorists, mass killers, and cartel leaders. His cell could only hold 1 man. A shower would be brought to his cell, and his mail would be seen through a screen as physically touching it was too much of a privilege. Larry Hoover, for the last 30 years, has been in a cold concrete hell until now. Trump commuted the sentence of Larry Hoover, which led many to believe Hoover was going to be a free man. But many fail to realize Hoover was serving 200 years before the feds stepped in, and he has to finish it. A bittersweet victory for those that know him, as he's one step closer to home, being now that he'll be back in Illinois. But at 78 years old, it isn't known how long he has to continue fighting for his freedom. One would assume he'd be treated like a god in Illinois State Prison. The man is a Chicago legend, but one can also wonder, why is it always when someone's about to be released, paperwork comes out of nowhere? We saw the same thing happen with Big Meech, and how everyone, including Meech, thought he'd be welcomed home like royalty, and instead, the former drug lord is doing Instagram promo. But what about the GDs? How are they going to react to reading the clear black and white of Larry Hoover, the very founder of their beliefs, identifying the two rival gang members who shot him when he was 18? Does it not count because it was so long ago, or because Hoover became so powerful, nobody dared talk about his statement without the risk of being killed? As of May 29, 2025, Larry Hoover is no longer in federal.
I start nursing school in September, and before I sent off my application, I ran it through Grammarly. I graduated with my bachelor's and master's degree before AI really took off, so I'm really excited to use this because it has a plagiarism check, and if you've been
federal custody. And according to the Illinois Department of Corrections, he's been transferred to Dixon Correctional Center, a medium security prison. Hoover's current release date is October 25th, 2066. Now, I'm going to say this first and foremost, and with all due respect. If you weren't born in the 50s or the 60s or are a direct relative of Larry Hoover, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Because if you're one of these GDs that's my age, 30 or younger or even older, talking about why are you talking about it, he don't even know who the fuck you are. This man's been in prison since 1973. So you can save all that gangster shit. I don't want a bunch of pitchforks emojis on my fucking Instagram. I don't give a fuck, to be honest. But it's very interesting that this paperwork came out of nowhere, right? I don't know who had this shit. I don't know if the Stones was holding it. I don't know if somebody was waiting for it, right? But they literally waited until his sentence got commuted, which nobody expected. And then boom, this shit hits the internet. I didn't do it. I don't know where it came from. But I looked into it, and yes, I found multiple articles detailing what took place. And that's what happened. Larry Hoover got shot on his first day of school. He's most likely a senior since he was 18. Two rival gang members walked into school and shot him out front of the principal's office. That's some gangster shit. If this doesn't make you look at Chicago like, holy fuck, it's been like that forever. This was in the 60s. They're walking in schools with guns and popping off in the fucking hallway.
Yep.
This shit was like that in the 60s. He got hit with
blame
32.
the young niggas for going.
That's probably why he survived. But
like,
then apparently Hoover went on a killing spree and was just smacking shit. And you got to understand, Hoover got taken off the street at 23 years old. This man was a certified smacker, leader. But unfortunately, if you go by the paperwork, he's also what? He'd be considered a snitch, right? He identified the two people that shot him, and they were rival gang members, and the police went to their house and got them. Now, he wasn't the only one that identified them, but he did.
But you got to think about when the code of snitching actually like began. You got to think about that too, because back then, like it's like shit. I'm not finna tell on my niggas, and you know, but the fuck niggas that did, they go. So like the snitching shit, that shit had to advance over time. Like the stop snitching shit, and the campaign weren't really till like I would say the 80s, like it had to be like the late 80s type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So if that shit was orchestrated around then, late 80s type shit, does that shit really even count? Like, why niggas bringing this shit up? And you know, just white people trying to put niggas against niggas and shit, because Larry Hoover was a political prisoner attempting to unite niggas before his sentence and all the other shit. But before the extra shit they had gave him, but fuck this nigga talking about.
And there's nothing that can really, there's not an excuse for that. You know what I mean? There's nothing that's.
You know what I'm saying? But he just reporting on shit that them motherfucking people telling him to do. You never know who his peoples is, man. Look at him. You feel me? Like, look at him. Look at him, bro. He really an agent, man. Niggas be, I don't know how niggas be surprised and they be like, I don't know where this shit come from, but I found it. I'm the first one to report on it though. I'm gonna be the first one to report on it. I don't know where it came from, but shit, I'm gonna be the first one to talk about it since I seen it first. Man, y'all motherfuckers be knowing what's going on. Y'all working for them people, y'all undercover agents. You feel me? And they just putting out the information that they want niggas to have. They're trying to turn niggas against each other for whatever reason, however small, however big. Shit is a part of a bigger plan, man, that you niggas will never even begin to understand. Allegedly news, real nigga reactions, R&R moment. We in a lit house. You know what I'm saying? Keep the light within you shining bright and never forget real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they can. Whole ass niggas gonna talk about it and fuck niggas gonna hate. Regardless, nigga. I promise.
Hey, I'm a hustler on a mission. Grinding for that spot, a brand new pot to piss in. Trying to school my partners home, babe, they pay attention. I'm sticking to my vision, on the road to the riches. Every single day, I'm a hustler on a mission. Trying to get 100 M's, nigga, I ain't kidding. I'm on a mission, 24/7, 365, until I reach the heavens.